Hi, everybody out in YouTube land. Surprise! I'm so random. I know I'm being random. Usually you can count on me for Friday night show, 9 p.m. Central, but not today. Oops. Uh-oh, here we go. Things are going to go. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I got to push the mute button. Hang on, things. Now what happened? Oh, I did it. I managed it. Okay. Hi, JK Pioneer. Hi, Richard Rutherford. Hi, Silver Sage. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can there. Now I'm going over to this computer to see if I can find me on YouTube so I can see the chat over here. It's easier. I don't know. Oh God. I did find me on YouTube and my thumbnail's horrible. Oh my God. Oh, why did I look? Shoot. Holy hi. Oh, hi, Diana. Hi, nice to see you. Hi, MJ Inzer. How are you doing? I'm drinking. In fact, I was going to go on at 7:30, but I hastily ran to the store and picked up a 4-pack of these guys, peach bellinis, because they're just so good. That's what I was in the mood for. And it's a much better choice than margaritas for me. Oh, hey, warm water salt. Hey, you want to talk about it? They did get me thinking. I was on Greg Talks Chase, Greg, his channel, Dark, DARC, did a show this afternoon, and I jumped on there, called in, or zoomed in, and somebody said something about I can't do two things at once, and I'm pasting the link there. And he's gonna do a show coming up soon about warm water salt. Oh, hi, Chase and Indy. Hi, okay, Larry. Good to see ya. Indy, I just watched one of your first videos you put out about where warm water salt, when you just made I don't know, it was not very long video about your idea. And it made me look at the fly water chapter again, because because you had pointed out, or I took away from your video, that the word waters, plural with an S, is on page 125, is on there. I've got it circled 4 times. Oh, I don't know if you can even see that, but waters. It's more than, the plural form of waters more than once in plural form. So it's kind of like clever like that. You watched me video? Yeah. I watched it when you made it the first time, but I went back digging through your old stuff, because you got great research, Indy. you got some sweet research skills, and you've picked up so much information, particularly the Wyoming information that you have. Like where I was focused in the last, I don't know, months and months of the chase, I was turned my focus back into New Mexico. And I see my name, one metaphorical, one physical. Right. Hi, Tim Mahaffey. Excuse me. Nice to see you again. Hi, Wander MT. What did they say about that? What did Wander MT just say? Oh, okay, wait. Here we go. No heat, no water, no plumbing. Richard Rutherford. Yes. Dang, you just made me feel better about my channel. That means a lot. Seriously, thank you, Susie. Well, Andy, you seriously. I mean, no one can dig up, no one can go digging holes better. Hi, Winston. How are you doing? Hi, Back East. Hi, JK Pioneer. Did I say hi to you already? I can't remember, but it's nice to see you again. I saw this, a post a few hours ago. Yeah, indeed. See, I think if we get Warm Waters Halt, anyway, those guys somebody in the chat had asked, or somebody on Greg's show had asked me this afternoon, right off the top of your head, what's your best Warm Waters Halt? What are you thinking? And I went to Tea with Olga, is what stood out in my mind. And then after that show, I started thinking, is that really? There's so many other good places. And it made me think of the Flywater chapter and the waters, and the whole idea that Jack had changed his, or not changed, but he put out whatever he said, that he paid attention to the stories that were published in the Thrill of the Chase that were published before, and the changes that were made from those stories that made it into the book, right? He was a focus on detail like that. And one of those such detail was the removal of the fire hole. Am I right? From the Flywater story. I just wrote the fire hole across the top of this page, but it's a great contender for Warm Waters Halt, and as well as Teachers with Ropes. And that was another thing you talked about in your video, Candy, was the Teachers with Ropes, the touching the sculpture, or and the feel cold, and it's the picture, and this hands, that's halt, that's the signal for halt. So it's a sign for halt, right? So I could argue that all three of those locations in the book are good contenders for possibly the clue connection to where Warm Waters Halt. And back to Tea with Olga too. That's where he talks about the 36-inch tub. What an odd story to include. Would you not agree? He wanted her little casita. 36 inches is 1 yard. So is it something, I don't know, but I think these things are fun. Oh yeah, and Eugene RF in the chat, I'm all about the sculptures. Yes, Eugene, that Sacagawea, and the low and the where how they're facing and pointing up in the Cody at the Coney Museum are something has to be said about bronzes and art. Forrest made a foundry in his backyard. When he lived in Texas. Who does that? He poured his own skull, he made his bells. And I wouldn't be shocked to find out if he didn't cast bronze of, if he didn't make a casting of the original treasure chest for himself, or just to have, or, a copy of it. And that makes me think of that picture that Cynthia just had posted that they were talking about on Calazar's, K-Pro was talking about. And so I took a better look at that picture and zoomed it, and you can tell it's like the corners of that are really smooth, crudely, or, they're not sharp. The corners on the real chest are really distinct. These are really rounded. So it could be a distant casting. You know what I mean? Like the cast, every cast you get. I'm talking out my ass. I don't know these things. I just have you watched my video about the word halt, or the very first video about my fire hole anagram? Absolutely. I did. Now, like, I just watched your warm waters video like today or yesterday. I don't know, yesterday, but like your other videos, I haven't watched those in a long time. Hi, Jack. Hi, Mario. Hi, Davio. How's it going, all you guys? Nice to see ya. I give you permission to play that video on your show if you'd like. Oh, hey, that's a good idea. I could pull it up because I can do my screen share. Right, because we should just keep hammering at what warm waters halt is out of this book. Like, I want to know too, does anybody know this question? Excuse me. Does anyone know this question? Did Jack in any way, who wants to, oh, hi, Jean. Hang on, I'm getting Jean in the room. Connect into audio. Hi, Eugene.
Hey, Susie, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool. How you doing? How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. I'm doing good. I
Yeah.
don't know. Seems like it's all going good. I just caught my eye. Susie, did you see Bill Gorman's video? No. Why? Was it a good one? Is it like a real video or was it a live show? Okay, so what do you have to say about sculptures
Well, first
and
off,
temperature?
I dropped into Greg this afternoon while at work and
Mm-hmm.
couldn't hang around too long. I had too much going on, but I got to listen to what you were saying also, your portion. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, you know, I just sense that there's two parts of this thrill of the chase. And I was explaining to Greg, one is to find Forrest's fin, his rainbow, and the other one was the treasure chest. And I sense that Jack may have not used the poem. All right. And Forrest knows someone has followed his poem precisely. So I think there's two parts in the thrill of the chase. There's always, I got to thinking about this afternoon, and I think Jack, he's unable to provide references to the poem, but he found something in the book that led him to the treasure chest. So that's what I'm thinking has happened. And so the treasure, the rainbow is, I can say it's in all of us, but it's still out there to be found. And so that's where I ended up. I quit searching in 2016, and when I got to a point where I said, "Yeah, this is what it's all about," and if people have been following me on the blogs and my videos, I've always said I came up to the treasure and I just turned around and walked away because it wasn't mine to keep; it was for everybody. So as for the solution, I think Jack doesn't know the poem, how he got there, but he found some hints in the book and some of Forrest Finn's interviews that led him to the treasure chest. So it's totally different, two different scenarios going on.
Well, I mean, that's a hard theory for me to follow because of how else do you explain Jack found the chest. Forrest said he found the chest in the manner in which it was designed to be found.
I don't recall Forrest ever saying that. I thought
he did. He said, okay, what was it? Not those exact words, but
I thought he said that he didn't specify Jack's name in his comment, but he said that he followed it precisely to the spot. What did he follow precisely to the spot? So that's my. He didn't say the poem. I don't. If I
know. I wish I had that.
I don't see chat, so I can't see what people are saying. Maybe they can correct it, or go back and review what he actually said. So the two scenarios, I think Jack, like I said, Jack figured out something that was totally different from all of us, and for me, I think he saw something else, and it took him to that spot. And that was to find the treasure chest, but to find Forrest's rainbow, and it says specifically right before the poem, to look for my rainbow and the treasure chest. So I need to go back and really look at the rest of the book because Forrest uses the word "and" in a specific manner. So I think that statement right there separates the "and" conjunction separates two ideas and thoughts, where in the poem, the "and" is used as a commonality between two thoughts. So just like I was explaining on Greg's channel to Greg the other day, where a sculpture, Little Turtle. When you look at that sculpture, it tells you a story. And I explained it to Cynthia, but I don't think she grasped it when we were in Cody. And so, but Tari Scant with Marvel Gaze, just take the chest and go in peace. The word "and" in there is very important because it brings it's two separate meanings, but the same idea. So Tari Scant, like Terry means slow moving and scant means small. So Tari Scant is Little Turtle, something small. In the book, you'll see the moon with the small little turtle behind it and peace, the dove. And if you look at Forrest, he has an axe in his hand and he's got it resting on the stump with his foot up. And with K-Pro's interview with Forrest, her asking him what Tari Scant means, it means to get the hell out of there. Well, when I explained to Greg what that sculpture represents is peace, or you will have to fight to the death. And that's what Little Turtle did. You got to understand who Little Turtle was. His army of warriors defeated the U.S. Military in the largest defeat ever till this day.
I have a question in the chat from Hooli. Hooli says, please ask Eugene if he knows where it was to please release us from purgatory with his solution and the precise spot.
Well, I would do that. I put a video. As a matter of fact, there's a video up on my channel showing my walkthrough on my poem, but doesn't explain what I'm doing or why I put those pictures up there. But you'll see it in my channel. You'll see the video, and it's to be continued. And so I'm working on the filming and the back story to why this whole treasure chest or treasure hunt became about. And so I'm going down to Santa Fe, not this weekend, but next weekend to do some more filming. And I'm going to try to put this all together. I was kind of nudged to finish the production of it. And I can't do it right now because, first off, COVID really set me back almost a year.
Everybody.
And I got like 7 interviews on in the books, but not on schedule. And so y'all going to be really surprised at what I found. And so I dug a little deeper, not just in Forrest, but what the thrill of the chase is all about. And I knew like I said, when I was at Forrest's house in 2016, October, the last day of October, it was a Sunday. And when Forrest wanted to hear my solution, I explained to him. And when I got to the point of the end is ever drawing nigh in the poem, he stopped me, because the end of is ever drawing nigh is the final structure of the poem. So at that point I knew. I didn't think he'd know, but the end is ever drawing nigh. If you look at the videos of Fenn's study, there's the Code of the West sculpture sitting next to his chair. And when I pointed to that, that's when he stopped me. And he says, I got something to show you. So that's when he took me into this vault. But anyway, there's more to it. I think when I'll explain more on a few other things that's on my journey of what I see in that particular poem. And, I just sense that Jack picked up on something completely different. Something's completely different in the book that'll take you straight to the treasure chest. But to his rainbow, the poem that right after or on that page is his rainbow. You just got to understand what he wants everybody to do. And I knew, I've known that since 2016. I knew that day, that moment when he stopped me, that I was on the right track. So about a year later, I sent him an email, told him, I said, I'm heading back to Cody, because I was going to Cody about 4 or 5 times a year. And he says, well, when you get to the museum, go visit the Sharp's cabin. It's down and to the right. Well, he knows I've been going to the museum for a few years. He's seen my videos. He knows where the Sharp's cabin's at, but that's not what he was talking about. You have to go to the Brown Garden in the museum. And the Brown Garden is centralized in the museum. It's on the right, down and to the right. And in that's where the final part of the solution is located. What really surprised, I haven't been there since the last couple of years. My blaze, the reference to the blaze was in the Brown Garden, and they moved it. They dismantled it and they moved it to the front of the museum. And when I heard Jack saying about a fake blaze and dismantling the blaze, I said, this is too crazy. This is too coincidental that my blaze, the only part of that poem that's moved is the Buffalo Prayer sculpture, which represents, if you've been wise and found the blaze, quickly look down, your quest has ceased. So I knew then and there something is not right, and I still don't know the answer nobody knows the procedure or the method that Jack used to find the treasure chest. And it doesn't really matter because if anybody
said he found it by following his clues in the poem.
Okay, so which poem? How many poems are in that book?
Well, he assumed the one that he said, and I wrote a poem containing 9 clues.
Right.
So whatever one leads to, Jack figured it out. Doesn't matter.
I don't think he used that. I honestly, heart of hearts, I don't think he really used that. I think he found something else intriguing that he used by understanding forests in interviews and so forth. But I just don't see it. Because I can't see it, but I know that when I finish my project, and I'll walk everybody through it and I'll show it everybody, it's going to make everybody think of how can there be 2 different treasures.
Candy, Chasing Indy in the chat had written, Terry Scant also means to pull up on a slab of rock. So there's a lot of interpretations to Terry Scant, not just, it's, and how do you know that yours is the right one? It's hard to,
because I can take everybody to each spot and show them exactly what I see and explain my interpretation. And I would think, and I can almost bet, there's a 95% confirmation that I'm correct. I really do. I've studied sculptures. I studied art. I studied forests. That's what he did at the museum. He was part of the Whitney Gallery. He was getting art all the time. And when somebody goes to a gallery or like like Forces in Santa Fe, people come in and they look at the art, not just because of its beauty or the artist itself, it's telling them something. That's why people buy expensive art, because it's telling them something. It has a meaning for them specifically, and that's why they buy it. It's not because there's a Moran on the wall. I know, for $500 to $1 million. I'm not gonna, they're not just gonna buy it because of the name or the age of the art or the price. They're gonna buy it because it's telling them something. That's what art does. It tells you. Forrest explained to it when he had the little kids touch the bronze sculpture. It was going to tell them something. Even the painting of George Washington, it was going to tell them something. In order to understand art, you got to read it. That's the only way.
Right. If that's what you, and therein lies the whole sticky wicket about this whole thing.
I know
it's because everyone in the chat is like, yeah,
right.
But no, and it's so, because what just has, it's sure as you are a positive of these, what you found is confirmations and these things, so has other searchers, including ones that are suing or sued people, that you still couldn't get that one woman to tell you her solution that we all know is wrong. It's in the wrong state. It's wrong. But she is still guarding it with her life, saying, because it's absolutely, there's nothing that can convince her. And so to hear.
But yeah, she's right. But she's right to own it. She has her own solution. She has a right to own it. I had a meeting.
But what's the point? What is the point of? I don't get it.
Because something like that makes you an individual. It makes you unique. You got to understand human feeling and how it satisfies each of us. Everybody has their own solution. It makes them happy. It makes them feeling on the top of the world, and that's okay. I mean,
that's fine, but don't, that's fine. You know what? That is everyone can believe, but don't try to say to the community, then I have this secret information and I am not going to share it with you because, whatever. Don't just zip it totally. I mean, why not? Why put out? Because no one's going to buy it anyway. No one's going to.
Right. And so what happens there? The human emotion, they're afraid of being ridiculed, and so they hold back. A lot of the searchers the same way. You'll see it in the videos. Well, I can't really explain that. Or even some of the veterans searchers say the same thing. But at the end of the day, they own it. They're happy with it. They're satisfied with it. That's what makes them who they are.
And which is fine, because the only one that matters is Jax.
What I'm saying to the community is that there's more than one. You have to understand if you ever go to Yellowstone in itself is a treasure. It's a national treasure. All right.
Yes.
Anything that's in the Yellowstone is a treasure. All right. Specific places like Fire Hole River and Madison, whatever.
Hot Spring, Mammoth, a lot of
all those places are treasures. Okay, so you have to understand that in the art world, what treasures really means. In the art world, a specific painting could be a treasure. A bronze sculpture can be a specific treasure. But, like I'm saying, at the end of the day, everybody is okay. I'm okay with everybody's solution. I bite my tongue many times. Sometimes I cut loose, but, I don't get your emotions, the fear, because it seems like everybody's got fear, even though they feel their solution is right. Don't let the fear overtake you, because you won't progress in life. You won't move on and become someone who you want to be. Everybody's got a destination. Everybody's got a direction they go, and yet they're waiting for some letter or box in the mail with the real treasure. No, don't wait for that. Just move on. Be satisfied with what you did, your accomplishments, the people you met in the community, and just
that's not going to be good enough. That is never going to be good enough for me. Never. Until I know the real, it. the solution, the way Forrest designed it, the mechanics of it, what he was thinking, what the actual clues are. There's no just walking away. There is no walking away and letting go. And it's not, and there's not going to be anyone else besides Jack that's going to give me information that I'm going to believe is real until it, because there's no way we can prove it now unless it is so obvious, unless the what do you call it, the solution is so obvious. Once it's shown, it's going to be like, oh my God, that's what I want to see. I want to see the, oh my God, the poem, where are the hints in the book, how they relate, and how that unlocks, you know?
Exactly. In my you know, I can't let go of the chase per se. But I've got something in the works, and you know, I just feel that the way I solved where I have my solution is that I am very happy with it. It's just important for me to understand how that all came about. I mean, we're talking hundreds of years ago that this came about. And so
does anything Jack have to say important to you, or anything? I mean, is there anything that he could possibly come out with, or anything else that's ever gonna make you think differently about this?
No, well, he said like maybe 3 things that he said that made me think that maybe he was on the same trail as I was, but it's really hard to. I'm still trying to put that all together. That's why I gotta hurry up and do all this filming.
Well, I can't wait to see it all, Eugene. Just to see.
You know, the thing is that I have to hurry up. It's got to be you know, Susie, to tell you, I've noticed something about myself that kind of runs in my family, and I'm starting to forget things. You know, of course, there's old age. I'm 63, but I've noticed that my the way I store things is starting to diminish. So that's why I have to hurry up and get this done. So I mean, I got a younger brother than 5 years younger than I am, and he's already got Alzheimer's.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm so sorry. I mean,
I know I've noticed that in me too, but that's okay. I'm fine with it. I feel sorry for the person that's got to look after me, but anyway, you know, Jack, I mean, to some degree, he deserves what he got, what he found, and I'm not going to say it's positive or negative, but it's I think Forrest allowed it to go where it went. As for what I'm looking for, I think Forrest wants me to do what he set out to do, because I sent him an email on October 5th of 2019, and I told him, I said, you know, Forrest, you've accomplished what you wanted to do, and I think it's time for you to end the chase. And that was on October 5th, 2019. Within days after that, that's when he fired off all the scrapbooks. And everybody can go back and look. And so I can go through those scrapbooks and I explain to you, and there's one statement or one scrapbook that he produced, and I felt he was talking about a couple other searchers, and he was doing a shout out to me on something. The one with the ribbon and the heart is Purple Heart in the background of the clouds. And so that was a video I posted about a year earlier about It's a video that I liked. That's on by Psy, and so anyway, I'm not going to go there right now, um, but people can still get rewards for doing the right thing in this world and helping other people. I don't live I live in a 1956 house, stucco's cracking and so forth, but I'm fine with it. I don't need any luxury or anything. I don't need to buy me a new house or anything like that. I've lived here for over 20 years and I'm happy with it. And so,
right,
I
as
got
long as you're content. Isn't that the whole key?
I got a roof over my head and I can pay the light bill and feed my doggies.
Right.
So,
that
but
sounds like contentment.
Anything else, if somebody needed a hand, I would help them out. I mean, I've sent so much money to searchers that I've never met.
You've been amazing. It's speaking of which, Matthew, I don't know who you are in the chat, and I don't want to say your last name, sent me $50 while we were just talking now. I got $50 sent to my PayPal from Matthew.
So, right on, Matt.
Thank you so much.
You're the man.
That's amazing. I have Candy just sent me an email from that she wants to share with everybody. That was correspondence between her and Jack. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and share this and start read this. But I really appreciate you jumping on and sharing your with me tonight. And
I would be careful with Jack. He's good at manipulating. Very good.
He's all we got.
I studied his writings and what he had to say, and he's a pretty good manipulator.
Hey.
But I'm sure he's
tread into those waters.
Hopefully his ways have changed and he learned his lessons, and that he's going to do what he said he was going to do, is pay it forward.
Well, right. We have yet to see what's going to happen. So,
because that's what the thrill of the chase was all about, is paying it forward. So, well, Susie, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for stopping in, Eugene. Nice to see you.
I'm going to have to look at the chat and see who I'm going to block.
Go back and see you. Candy's getting in trouble. Okay, have a good night.
Later.
Team. Candy, you want to jump on with me and stay out of trouble in the chat? I don't know what's really going on. I just caught like different something. I don't know. I can't listen and read. Okay, there is Indy. Hi, Indy. Oh, she's connecting to audio.
Susie. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you doing tonight?
I'm just like not feeling so great. So I'm downstairs on the couch. I made some spaghetti and then I saw you went live. So I got all excited. And then I saw you watched my video, which got me super happy.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, I want to watch, it's like, you're one of the best researchers. I mean, you've got great information and you can pull out facts. And so it's like, I'm going to go back to Candy's OG stuff. What did she, and go scrolling through your stuff. And I'm like, oh, wow, here's where warm water's hot. It's like, yeah, because Greg talks Chase Dark, whatever. He's going to do a video with, who did he say? Joe Jonas or somebody? Brit Chaser?
Maybe Brit Chaser. I think Brit Chaser's Jonas, isn't it?
Is that the same person? I think they're going to do a video together about their ideas, or talking about, with chat and stuff about where warm water's halt in the book, and scare that up. And so anyway, it made me think of, yes, what do you have on that? But better yet, your email you just sent.
Oh, so you did get it.
Yes, I got it right here on my pull it up on my phone, but it's long. I'm trying to figure out where it starts.
Well,
oh, Jack. Okay.
You could start off because I asked him a question, right? So if you want, you could read the question to the chat, but the main juicy detail is his response about my War for Me and the original writings Fenn wrote in comparison to TTOTC.
Yes, that's what we were talking about at the time. Okay, I pretty much ruled out the text of my War for Me holding hints because it was almost entirely unchanged from the original after the first paragraphs. And what I also like about that little snippet is
it means it's everything.
The text of my War for Me holding hints. That doesn't rule out that page 99 illustration or any of the illustrations in my War for Me. He's saying it's ruling out any of the text. Okay. And then didn't make much logical sense that something he wrote for another purpose years earlier and that takes place on the other side of the world, and he didn't bother to refine at all for his book, could be relevant to the poem and the place he wished to die. I can see why others would disagree, but that was my thinking. The other stories that were repurposed for the book showed me more frequent edits. I figure I could divulge that bit about the trip to Cody because it wouldn't rule out anywhere in Wyoming. I said it was during the trip, but I don't want to say at what point during the trip. Okay, I get it. Okay, interesting. Yeah.
I just love it because, like, the thing is, when I email him, I'll send him the most, like, rambunctious, crazy, almost stupid, and, like, you could say they're a waste of an email, right? But every once in a while, I'll throw in something that's a curveball, so he thinks he's answering something pointless, and you just get just that little tiny bit of information that'll help you. And the fact that he responded to that question about the original writings versus the ones in TTOTC is everything we need, because there's only a select amount of stories from TTOTC that were originally written by Fenn on Bozeman Daily Chronicle. And I have the email where Jack confirms he never read Rumblings and Ramblings until after the chest was found. So once it was released after Fenn's passing, that's when he got Rumblings and Ramblings. So the only context of writing he had to compare was Daily Bozeman Chronicle.
Yes, had to be the same stuff. And then that's the one where the fire hole, right?
You know, I sent an email to Fenn when I was like boots on the ground. I was in Hebgen and we were staying at our little camp, right? I messaged him and I was like, I'm still trying to understand this. In your original writings, you mentioned the fire hole. But in your TTOTC book, you took out the mention of Firehole and added the Madison. And I said, did you put the Madison in the book to help us find the treasure because that's part of the puzzle? Or did you take out the Firehole to make it more complicated so we wouldn't find it sooner than when it was supposed to be found? And he was like, you know what, Candy? I don't remember. And I'm like, that email haunts me because is it the Firehole or is it the Madison? Like, it drives me bonkers. That's why I keep jumping from Firehole to Madison, because that damn anagram I found, you could work it both ways. So
are
honestly,
they both in Wyoming? I don't even know for sure. Yeah.
I just think that the message, if you guys, like you especially, Susie, you guys could help me decipher what the hell that means. Because I sent that video, the one that you were talking about, I sent it to Fenn. And I have a huge email from him and he loved it. And, you know, most of the time he doesn't really comment on, you know, solves or searchers videos unless you're MEH or Smell the Sunshine. So the fact that he sent me, you know, like an email, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And he was like, when are you going to go boots on the ground? He said, good luck. And I remember in an interview once, Fenn said, like, you know, people who don't have the first clue figured out, they're just going to have, you know, a memory of a nice vacation. And I can't remember where. It was something about, like, I think I'm paraphrasing, but he said, like, I won't tell you good luck. So when he said good luck, I was like, wait, I might have something. Like, I'm not acting like, I'm a know-it-all or anything. I just am saying, you watch the video. I have all this knowledge and research that I want to share. So if you want to like try and go down that rabbit hole, I would be willing to share anything I can to help.
All right. Well, let's all do that on Greg's channel when did he say it, tomorrow or no? Yeah, Saturday. Didn't he say it's going to be tomorrow?
Probably is. He usually does that unless it's the hangout one. Because I know Christy, I think she's doing the Searcher meetup in North Carolina tomorrow, and she's going to go live. So I'm not sure if they're going to do like a collaboration or what's going on with that.
Oh, that's right. Oh, maybe that's next week's show he's talking about. Or, one of his, when did he go live? When does he go live? Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon? I don't know. But yeah, I'm game to figure that out. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm missing the chat. I haven't been paying much attention. Hi, King Jim King. Nice to see you. Hi, Nomadic Madman.
Huli says,
what does Huli have to say?
Well, I kind of got a little feisty in chat with a certain person. But you know me, I've got the mouth of a sailor. And Huli was like, my F words are, or my F mouth is directed at ideas and not people.
Okay. That's
like my favorite thing she said.
Email Jack, raise your hand. Huli, if not Susie, are you single? We need to get Bill a woman. Oh my God. CJC, who are you? What?
Person I'm butting heads with.
He doesn't know me very well. If he thinks he's gonna get Bill a woman, you don't know me very well.
Oh, that's so funny.
My God. Poor Bill, but don't put that curse on me, man.
So
okay, Jack,
what I found interesting about Jack's email? So he talks about how, aside from like the first paragraph, my warfare is virtually unchanged in comparison to the original. That's not true.
He said besides the first few paragraphs or something.
No, when you go into my War for Me and you compare it from the one that's posted online it's the blue writing.
Bozeman Chronicle one?
No, that one's not on Bozeman Daily Chronicle. That one's on the website. It was published in 2008, I believe, from a friend from the Saber Society. And it's in blue writing. It's the only one you can find of Fenn's aside from the one he originally wrote back in like the 80s, I think it was. And that's like an article that it's like all military jargon. I have that email too. I talked to him about that one if you want it. But he took out the mention of an asterisk. He talks about an asterisk, and he took that out of TTOTC. And I've talked about it before.
He talks about an asterisk in TTOTC.
Yeah, but that's on page 15, the big page with big letters.
No. In my War for Me. On page. In fact, I got it right here. I mean, I can pull it up in 10 seconds. It's right here.
About the unwritten asterisk, right? Like a book and an unwritten asterisk or a forgotten asterisk.
Yeah, it's right here. It's on right here, page 76. It says, in another generation or so, most of those names will be but an asterisk in the history of a forgotten war, a curiosity to wonder about, like the Lincoln Memorial.
But what you don't notice, because I'm such a weirdo, the original blue writing He talks about finding a way to meld my war for melding the jungle, like his when he got shot down in the jungle versus when he was flying with the Philadelphia Thumbkeeper, right? He found a way to make the two ideas meld together as one. And when he was looking through a flight logbook, he marked it with an asterisk. He marked a place with an asterisk, and he takes that out of TTOTC. That part right there. He's like, and I marked it because he forgot about it.
Okay.
But no matter how hard I try, like I'm terrible at geography and Google Earth and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know how
if Jack is saying that, but Jack is saying that wasn't important. Obviously, even though you're right, there is a difference, and Jack said there wasn't. Obviously, it didn't matter because either way, we're at the same ending.
I'm still curious about him because one, he said he doesn't want us to find the place, right? Two, just like Fenn, you could give information without helping people because it's so vague, right? I'm wondering, is it possible that asterisk that was marked in his flight book log was Soldier Stone in Swatch, Colorado? Because that's literally the only place you can go in real life. And you were living in the chapter My War for Me with like the placer markers, the lonely French guy placard, everything, right? I was talking to Huli about this a few days ago. But what's also not mentioned or people don't pay much attention to in My War for Me is about how he talks about, good men versus bad men, right? And he talks about John Wilkes Booth. And he says, are not good men allowed to leave behind their own footprints? And then you go to river bathing is best in Too Far to Walk. And he talks about how he hopes his grandchildren will follow his footsteps to that special place. And that's when he's talking about the fire hole. So you can actually take My War for Me and still apply it to possibly his death spot, because either it's Firehole or it's Madison. It's around that area. I don't know. So much evidence points to it. But
and then it just makes me think, okay, so if Jack is paying to the things that were changed, I don't know. I know both of them are, because you would think it would be the Madison, because the Madison is what is mentioned in The Thrill of the Chase. And yeah, I would think that the real Where Warm Waters Halt would be a real place that is mentioned in The Thrill of the Chase.
Yeah.
Don't you? I mean, it just seems like ropes.
Well, you saw the quote. There's been a multitude of quotes from Fenn where he talks about the illustrations. And Gallatin, she's like a freaking amazing woman. She's already found two of them. One of them is from the video that Jack had put up on his channel, the edited version. Because that, if you compare the edited version versus the unedited version, you don't get to hear Fenn talk about the illustrations. He says, read the sentences, then compare them and match them up to the illustrations if your mojo's working. Well, Gallatin found another interview when Fenn's with Douglas Preston and some other guy. And at the very end of the video, he talks about illustrations. He says illustrations or drawings
being so important, and why don't those guys demand that they're in charge of their books? Why don't they demand that the publishers let them have illustrations in their books? He did. He made like a big deal out of that. Forrest did, about people and their illustrations. Mm-hmm.
Well, Forrest said drawings can say so much more than words can. That's what Gallatin found. And every time, and I love Caper to death, but we've shared this with her a multitude of times, and she's like, Andy, there's nothing in the drawings. And I'm like, woman, how many treasure hunts have you been in? And how many treasure hunts have had maps? The drawings are maps. Like, come on. Where's the map then? And you know what else I found that's really cool that you might like, that you'd probably pay attention to? So it was on one of Dale's emails from Fenn, right? So it's on his blog right now. It's someone asking Forrest about if he was going to ever publish the hints that he had in the book. And Fenn said, no, it'd be too easy. And he said, besides, the part of the fun is figuring out which hints I put in the book and which ones to use. Meaning there's a multitude of hints, but only a couple of those hints actually help you with the clues.
Well, still, I mean, there's a couple of them then. We need to find them, you know?
Yeah. I honestly think because Gallatin and GTC, they're the ones that first started focusing on teachers with ropes.
He just stopped in to say hi, GTC did, or Dark did.
Oh, what's up? But yeah, they're like, the rope is the river, and the teacher, just like what you were saying, is halting. So right there, we all think it's Madison Junction, but like, what the hell do you do with that after the fact? Like, yay, we got Madison Junction. What now?
Go to the big wooden sign. The brown wooden sign with the arrowhead on it.
Oh, that reminds me. I don't think you saw this. You know how Gene was talking about rainbows? You know,
yeah.
Fenn's rainbow?
Yeah, because it says it right at the end of the poem. He's not wrong. I mean, that's solid, right?
If you look up the actual word for rainbow, it actually comes from arrow. And we all know there's the multitude of images of arrows in Fenn's TTOTC illustrations, right? The pictures, all kinds of stuff. The page 99 with an arrow pointing down, the white mark on the horse's face, it's an arrow. And then there's an arrow on the plane.
On his airplane on page 77. That
arrow so it's possible, I'm not sure, but it could be possible that the blaze was an arrow. It could be possible. Because he says the end of my rainbow and the treasure, and we all know the blaze is what you find to find the treasure, right? So if the end of his rainbow leads to the treasure, could be an arrow,
right? And how did you get the meaning of rainbow means arrow? Where did that come from?
If you just look up the etymology of the word rainbow, it'll break down the root words and where it comes from and what it broke down. It was talking about arrow because of the arch and everything. So I'd have to pull it up again because I do so many rabbit holes. But
and it is Eric Sloan taught us about rainbows that you should never point at a rainbow.
Should never point at a rainbow?
Don't point at a rainbow because it is Father Sky mating with Mother Earth, and you're not supposed to. I mean, it's like an intimate thing. You're not supposed to point at it. That's what Eric Sloan said.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I know.
And Eric Sloan did the color brown too, didn't he? Like break down the meaning of brown.
Yes. Eric Sloan's favorite color is brown.
See, that's
he says it. He said that so many times in his book. I mean, more than once has he written about the color brown or Eric Sloan.
I barely it wasn't until I think it was last year when you started talking about it a little bit. I never looked into Eric Sloan, right? So I started slowly looking into some of his books, and I read a few of them. And, he talks about barns, he talks about brown, apparently he talks about rainbows, he talks about, clouds and rain. It's it's so interesting, but I don't know if my brain could handle that rabbit hole.
It's a great one. You know what? On Greg's channel this afternoon, he mentioned Mount Haines in Yellowstone during the show, as when we were talking about Yellowstone, and that's like the classic whatever. It made me think of this. This Mount Haines is a place in the book in Yellowstone, here's Yellowstone. This is the page in Flywater.
Yeah.
And what was I going to say about? Oh, and this is the one where he's father, 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 mom. Why wouldn't it be mother? that bugs me. And, you know, things like that. So, what was I saying about Mount Haynes? I need to look out. I needed to figure out where this Mount Haynes was in.
I think it's either 9 Mile Hole or 7 Mile Hole. Gallatin mentioned that before.
9 Mile Hole.
Yeah, she said it was one of those two. And if you're standing like right where the dad was, you'd be able to see, you know, the mountain behind you. So she played around with that idea. I can't say too much about it because it's mainly her idea, so I don't want to give it out without her, you know, permission. But I think it was 9 Mile Hole or 7 Mile Hole where that.
Well, 9 Mile Hole is the one that's mentioned. Here's the mention of Mount Haynes, and then here's the mention of 9 Mile Hole. So they're like directly. The pictures are captioned directly above and below each other. You know. Yeah, oh, another thing. Okay, you know what else I thought of today too? Talking about the home of Brown, and where else besides on page 55, the long ride home, is there any other capitalized Brown home? You know, home of Brown is on page 55, but it also is in capital BR is on his, what do you call that? The identification card, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So what if and right before that capital BR, there's a mention of 6 feet in height, right? Okay. What if the blaze was 6 feet high? Like put in below the home of Brown. If you've been wise and found the blaze. So what if that 6 feet high height measurement on his ID card was him where the blaze was located? I don't know what made me think of that, because we were talking about the home of Brown earlier this afternoon. But anyway, because, you know, height, whatever. Okay.
No, I think that definitely has a point in it. No, like, you know how that one mention, so like Jack's mention about Fenn and Alzheimer's in the Medium article, how that led me to the comment from, it was like, I don't remember what year it was from, where Fenn's like, if I ever get Alzheimer's, I'm gonna mark a date on calendar, blah, blah. And then he trails off to his favorite something. Well, up until recently, because the book, there's only 2 places in the book, TTOTC, where he says favorite. His favorite fishing holes and favorite soda, right? But because of Dale's email from Fenn about Ojo Caliente, he says my favorite bathing hole. So again, I'm Team Firehole or Team Madison, because Madison has the fishing holes and Firehole has the bathing hole. So it's like, but like, I also noticed too, so whenever Fenn talks about that place, the special place, he gets very poetic, right? He gets very like whimsical when he talks in detail about it. The only other time I've ever heard Fenn get poetic in detail is when he talks about the fire hole.
And it seems obvious.
And like, how can you sit there and say God seriously underestimated himself when he created the Firehole River? Like, that's something of magnitude right there.
I see very important in the chat. Oh, honey, I am with you. Please make this effing shit stop.
What stop?
I don't know. He says he's going, just make it stop. And then Jack says, we all have gone crazy. Roll with it. Nope, make it stop. I know. I wish somebody could make it stop. It's driving us all crazy. I'm right there with you. Very important. Seriously, I am. It's not fun anymore, but there's no other way out. You know? Jack, is this a candy solve night? I missed the memo. No, I talked her into coming on with me.
Can you stop being so annoying?
Who, me?
No, DJ's ass is just make. You take that pan and make noise. I swear I'm gonna go tangled on your butt. God, sorry, Susie.
Is he cooking you something?
I'm just like I'm trying to listen to what you're saying. It's like it's making so much sound, and then he's like standing by the garage door. He's just like turning the lock over and over just to annoy me.
At the fire hole blues, says Tom.
No, like I'm not trying to make it about me solve or anything like that. I just know you were mentioning about my video earlier, and
yeah.
I'm not trying to do solve bias at all. I'm just giving you exactly the research I have.
That sweet info about that email that Jack about the changes to the stories.
Yeah.
And that's what it had us going on the fire hall. But you know what? Already I drank my peach bellinis. Been on for over an hour. I think we're gonna call it a night, Candy.
I say you should go longer, but I'll jump off so you could just have your channel back.
I wish somebody else would go on. I feel like being a lurker instead of a participant.
But it's fun when you're live because we get to like listen to, your ideas and the way you interpret things. It was really fun. Like, I wish you were just on by yourself all night. It was really fun to like hear you start going and talking about stuff. But I could jump off and then, because I just jumped on to just give you that email and everything. But I say you go a little bit longer. Solo.
Who's Matthew? Do you know who Matthew is? And sent me $50 in the chat or in the.
No.
Either. I don't know if he's a lurker or if he's in a code name. But that was so nice. I had to say that again. Thank you so much, Matthew, for said to be $50 out of the blue. Someone with insight, Susie, back east. Okay, I am too scattered, and I already want to get another peach thing. And
get another peach thing. It's Friday.
Oh. You go on. Tell DJ to leave you alone, that you need to go live.
He went upstairs. No, I'll jump off. You should stay on, Susie.
No, I'm going to go. But I appreciate everybody in here. I got 68 people.
You always have a good crowd.
It's fun. What else is there to do Friday night when we're all tortured together, right? We're all in this together, everybody. Where in the hell's the after party tonight? Hey, huh? Says Albert. He didn't. Oh no, he didn't say that, but that's what I saw. Okay, I'm pushing buttons, you guys. Ready? Thanks for joining. See you next week, everybody. Good night.